A scenario to consider. Here is something to consider. Think about the following scenario. Pay attention to how you are feeling and what you are thinking as the scenario that I read here unfolds. Let us say, for example, only that in the not too distant future, a civil war breaks out in Israel, and a popular religious figure rises to power. This religious figure does not fit into any of the normal molds that define modern religious identities. He's a very Torah-centric, but at the same time, he's well learned in many areas of science and other disciplines. He is both very modern and extremely traditional all at once. He is equally rational and mystical. He has something within him that, for some unexplainable reason, almost everyone finds appealing. The first thing that he does is to banish the old government based on democracy and secularism and works to transform the nation through peaceful means. Daily, he addresses social media and the press with a message that sounds like a blend of psychology, Kabbalah, and science fiction. He speaks about the good of everybody and honestly and sincerely tries to bridge the gaps between all the warring elements in society. He comes up with a solution for all resident peoples to each mind their own business and to be respectful of others and to let everyone live in peace. And this is exactly what they do. He also seems to have access to very advanced technologies, and he introduces to the world market for free the cures to cancer and other diseases and other technological advances that radically heal the planet and significantly improve life on Earth for everyone. The more he does for his nation, the more his popularity grows around the world. While even most of his opponents begrudgingly begin to love him, the power brokers and super wealthy around the world look at him as being very, very bad for their business. They devise a global plan to discredit him, malign him, and to topple him by all means necessary. And so the power brokers and super wealthy use everything in their command to create havoc, terrorism, fear, and hate. In not too long a time, they brainwash a good portion of the whole world into believing that this new religious figure in Israel is nothing more than a pseudo-mystical weirdo who, while doing some good things, is truly a threat to all humanity and must therefore be removed from power no matter the cost. And so they gather their forces for an invasion. So what is our populist religious leader going to do? He makes an announcement to his nation and to the world, calling for the forces opposing him to stand down, warning them that if they do not, they will face a terrible retribution, the likes of which they cannot possibly imagine. This religious figure is crazy enough to publicly say that the human army of the nation will not be mobilized to fight, but rather that God himself will fight for the nation, just like it happened at the parting of the Red Sea. Now, this proclamation polarizes the world. The majority now think that this pseudo-mystical leader is a complete nut job. However, there remain the faithful and stubborn minority who continue to believe that indeed God is on his side and that heaven will provide for him, just as he declares, and they refuse to join the fight. And so, the nations of the world surround Israel from all sides and prepare to attack. All the while, our leader, again and again, reassures the people there's nothing to fear. And then it happens. Invasion. The armies of the world, led by human greed and motivated by nothing more than jealousy and hate, attack. They come into Israel from the north, and their land forces are not met with any opposition. With arrogance and surety they advance, certain of a swift, complete victory against the man who refuses to muster an army to fight them. And as the army advances, suddenly, without warning, the earth under their feet starts to shake. Earthquake. This earthquake is different. It keeps growing bigger and bigger. Doesn't seem to end. All the combined military land forces become paralyzed. The oceans are also affected, with waves rising to such heights that all naval vessels are compromised. There are also disturbances in the air and even in space. Aircraft instruments cease to function. Satellites go haywire. Everything, the entire combined military forces of the world, are being stopped in their tracks. And then there's a tremendous earthquake that literally splits open the land right under the feet of the invading army. A chasm opens, expanding miles across in what seems to be miles deep. And suddenly the land forces, their tanks, their armor, their infantry, all at once are hit with what can only be described as energy particle beams from what appears to be from out of nowhere. All around them, the sky becomes full of some type of bizarre crafts, the likes of which cannot be clearly described. They seem to be coming from everywhere all at once. And there also seems to be those rising out of the chasm created by the earthquake. There are millions of these things, and they attack the invading global army with ruthless resolve. The global forces do not seem to be able to defend themselves at all. The military leader's message goes out to the governments of the world. We are under attack from forces that are clearly not of this earth. We're being invaded by aliens. But no sooner is the message received than all around the world, large hovering ships appear over all the major cities of the world. And suddenly, all at once, the entire population of the world, without the need for any type of device, hears a booming voice speaking individually inside each one's mind, heard in each one's individual native tongue. And the voice says, "Fear not, stand down, the time has come. We are here to finally correct matters and to align humanity with the rest of the universe. Fear not, stand down. We are in charge from now on. All your weapons around the globe have been made inoperable. We are no longer allowing you to harm one another. All of your power elite and wealthy no longer have any power. They can no longer manipulate you. We are here, and each of you is now free. We will guide the world now and bring to all peace. Our man in Jerusalem is our messenger, and now his message, which is our message, will be brought to all, and all will benefit thereby in peace." Try as they did, the armies of the world were quickly and completely defeated. All those who invaded Israel were killed, down to the last man and woman. There were no survivors. It will take many months just to bury the dead and to cleanse the land. Those who lost faith in their religious leader now beg him for forgiveness, which he grants with a smile. A large entourage of the Redeemers arrive in Jerusalem in the eyes of all its citizens, and of course in the eyes of all the world who are watching all this unfold on television. These Redeemers come in ships, not of human design. They themselves are not human, although they look similar to us. Although they're not human, they're not frightening. In front of the news cameras of the world, they offer their support and their allegiance to the Israeli leader. And with their help, he gets busy cleaning up the mess that the greedy warmongers have caused. Now that they have been dealt with, nothing will stop the rebuilding of the earth, turning it into a paradise for everyone. As this process continues, our leader in Jerusalem addresses the world and announces that shortly a large vessel of sorts is going to land and take up permanent residence in the Holy Land, specifically in the area of Jerusalem. This grandiose vessel will serve as an embassy, as well as a place of learning and prayer for all humanity to come and to benefit thereby. And so the day comes when this enormous edifice descends and lands. It looks more like a complex of buildings than it does a spaceship. And as it opens its doors, even stranger looking aliens exit and greet the peoples who no longer fear their coming. And so the earth begins its transformation. The leader in Jerusalem gives an order that all peoples should be given their freedom to believe whatever faiths that they wish. No religion nor any religious expression should be harmed. And why? The leader knows that in short time, everyone on earth will be given the opportunity to personally visit and experience both outer space and other dimensions. Each person will be able to see with one's own eyes the truth of things. In short time, the religious of the world fade away willingly by the hands of their own observers. Each human being will see the parallel realities personally, each individual for oneself. It will finally dawn on the peoples of the world the reality of their situation. This leader in Jerusalem, he's no ordinary man. Indeed, the more that they learn about him, the more human and equally the more strange he appears to be. He is certainly not frightening, but he seems to be full of some natural force and power that just makes people want to like him. His own nation and the peoples of the world unite and work together to reform the earth and to maximize its growth. They turn earth into a paradise. And in the end, without having to be told by anyone, the united earth agrees in unison that indeed, finally, their long-awaited Messiah has come. This is the end of the beginning, with so much more to come.